My eyes and ears have to be deceiving me because I know Mona is not out here moving like this in 2026. Apparently, there is a video floating around, a couple of them actually, of Mona, aka Don't Call Me White Girl, in what looks like a pretty heated exchange, I believe out in Philly. And I have questions. Now, from what I can make out, it sounds like Mona may have said something slick to the woman. The woman immediately checks her on it, and from there, things could have gone much differently. And what I'm paying attention to is we know this is the same Mona who sits on the podcast every week talking slick. This is the same Mona who jokes about being tougher than some of the guys. And this is the same Mona who is now attached to one of the biggest platforms in podcasting under Joe Budden. So my immediate thought watching this was, what are we doing here, Mona? In 2026, with cameras everywhere, you're rebuilding your brand, your name is growing, with people recognizing faces connected to the pod, to Joe Budden. This is what we're doing. This is how you're representing yourself outside. I said the same thing when Queenzflip was out at the parade. You cannot be outside moving like this for strangers to feel comfortable stepping to you in public like this, or even saying slick stuff to them. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly her pod brothers are going to say when she gets back on the pod about these clips.
I'm going to keep you in Facebook talking. They'll let you know when you still see you coming in there talking. What I say to you? What did you do? What is this? What else can I say? Oh, what is that? What is that? What is that? Yeah, ain't no press. Don't do that. What is that? Respect. Right, they'll all tell you that. You know what you did. You knew what you did. If I did that to you,
hey, yo.
why I can't come in? I'm not trying to fight you. I'm not trying to fight you. I cannot work. I'm trying to get some other store. Why are you even just getting up this back?
Man, peace, man. I come in peace. We should come in peace. We should be fighting.
You out. Let me call you for you, dog. Let me call you for you. Now you just said it. You said it. What you talking about? Come on, you just said you doing it. Do it. Do it. You keep on talking. Nothing wrong here. Why can I get my why are you still coming talking to me? Go about your business. I was talking to him. Go to your business. You been threatening me and all that. Yo, like on God. Why are you still
Now, I'm going to say this, and y'all may or may not agree with me, but this could have gone left real fast. So I respect the fact that Mona didn't escalate it to this being something physical. And it seemed like all parties parted ways. Hopefully nothing else happened once the cameras turned off. And I haven't seen Mona speak on this yet. So it'll be interesting how they approach this when she is back on the pod, because you know they are going to ask her questions. Now, whatever happened before the cameras started rolling, once this became public, it seemed like once Mona kind of turned and saw someone who was filming, she clearly understood this could go left fast. But the problem with this is if you're going to be outside and you're going to spend weeks talking on a microphone, you're going to joke about being tougher than the men around you, and you've built part of your personality and brand around that energy, the internet is absolutely going to notice when real life looks different. Now, you could say maybe Mona backed down because she just had surgery. Or maybe that's growth. Maybe she's understanding now that fame changes how you move in public. And maybe it's time to start hitting up DoorDash and Instacart and just moving through your day a little bit different. Because whatever happened in this exchange clearly struck a nerve. And like I said, it could have went completely different. And I am not one that's going to advocate for, oh, Mona should have, did XYZ, or Mona talks tough on the mic, but she is out here moving differently. The goal is always to make it home safe. And imagine with a level of fame and people wanting to put a camera out there to show you may not be who you are for the cameras, it's going to land differently with her audience. We already know how the pod rolls. Once this gets on the JBP feed and timeline, there are going to be jokes that ensue on the pod as well as questions. So, how do you think the pod is going to react when Mona is finally back up there after they see this video? Drop your thoughts below and let's talk about it in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Share with a friend. And you can become a supporter if you enjoy rocking with yours truly, Chatterboxx. Until next time.